big plays with them big names and them big buildings. That's big business. Hit 10, but that's big pimpin'. My potential, that's infinite. Pin game insane. Make hits like King Griffin, a 10th inning.
Welcome to episode 6 of the 10th Inning Podcast. I'm Sean Meyer. He's Dan Vario. And it's just us today.
No Clay again. And I'm sorry, no Zeke either. I got the dates mixed up. He will be on next podcast. If I don't have the energy today, I'm going to try and bring it as much as I can a little bit. Whatever weather's going on, I'm under it. So we're going to try and get above it or at least even with it. The whole point and cry. I was trying to do my best iCarly thing, 5, 4, 3, 2. Those are the emotions that came after that. I'm sorry, Sean, take it away.
Very nostalgic. This is his Jordan flu game. This is his Jordan flu game. And he's about to show out just like Jordan did.
Oh, yeah, baby.
All right, so we are 2 games into the World Series. And we've got a dead even series.
Yep.
So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
You can go ahead.
I thought after game 1, I was like, look, I'm a genius. I'm never going to be wrong the entire year. The Braves are going to win game 2, and I'm just going to be, the greatest of all time on this pod. Unfortunately, they lost game 2. But, I mean, game 1 was very interesting, obviously. Let's just shout out things that I get right first to just start off the pod.
Of course, let's go for it.
Michael Brantley, 3 for 5, most hits on the team. He now, I saw an interesting graphic. He has between 18 and 21, 18, 19, 21, or 19 and 21, has the most hits, the second most hits in a 3-year playoff span with like 57, which I thought was insanity.
That is a lot.
The other, someone on the list was an old Atlanta Brave, I believe. I forget who the leader was. And then 3 and 4 were 2 Altuve 3-year spans. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool to see that. I didn't even think about Brantley the last couple of years, but I guess he's just been – he hits. That's all he does, folks. He just hits, not really homers. And he'll get you a double, but he hits. I mean, obviously, you'd be remiss not to mention Charlie Morton. Let's just shove almost another inning, basically inning with a broken Tib or Fib. What do we got there?
I think Fib.
Fib with a broken fib. I mean, Eula on the end of that. That's with 2 Ks in the mix. Altuve,
he struck out Altuve looking.
Yeah, I mean, God bless his soul. And in the post-game interview, I don't know if you heard it, they called him of the reporter. It was either Lauren Shahad, Alana Riz, or the player. They called him a gamer. They did. I hate to tell you.
Not the gamer.
They called him a gamer. They were like, yeah, he's just a guy, man. He just goes out and he's a gamer. I was like, listen.
Well, I was reading some articles. I think Jeff Passan wrote this one for ESPN. After he got hit initially, he went into the clubhouse and got an X-ray, and it showed no, break or anything. And when he came back out, I don't know if maybe the pitching more hurt it, broke it more. Maybe it was already susceptible or what happened, but they went in after he came out of the game the second time, and it showed that it was a break, fracture, whatever it was. But also after the game, he was in the training room, and all the players are coming in saying, hey, I'm sorry this happened to you. I'm sorry that, you can't pitch. And Charlie Morton was apologizing to them and to the team. Sorry, I couldn't pitch more. I'm sorry this happened. Like, that's just the kind of guy he is. Like, he didn't choose to take a line drive off his leg. And he's apologizing here that he couldn't go deeper into the game or help his team more in the World Series. I don't know. That's just, if there's any – I don't think you need anything else to say. I mean, I think Freddie Freeman said if that doesn't prove to you how good of a person and a gamer that Charlie Morton is, then I don't know what is. I mean, that's
I was shocked that he was taken off the postseason roster. I was confident Charlie was going out there for game 5 with a broken fib. I really was. I was like, Charlie's going out there with a broken fib game 5 all day.
Yeah.
Charlie Morton. I mean, obviously that's a little conjecture there. I don't actually promote Charlie Morton pitching with a broken fib.
No.
That's the kind of guy he is. Another couple of things I want to mention that I glossed over there. Luke Jackson comes out in game 1, fires an inning and 2/3. Just to make sure I have that right. Inning and 2/3, scoreless, 1 hit. Looks amazing.
Yeah.
So honestly, really nice to see for him because he was on the struggle bus all aboard in
Yeah.
that last series, especially against all those lefties. But he came in. Not that I guess Houston, other than Tucker and Jordan, but those are some big boys. And Brantley. Now, honestly, I don't know who he faced. I don't remember exactly the batters he faced, but he got through it. Inning and 2/3, and I saw some highlights. He looked fine. So good for him to get through that. And again, Atlanta's bullpen holding it down, man. Again, I mean, Morton, you expect to get at least 5 out of the guy. You get 2 1/3, and you get Minter for 2 2/3. I mean, that's absolutely insane. That's huge.
And this is I mean, obviously Charlie Morton getting hurt is, a big blow for the team, but this is where the whole, bullpen's going to really come into play. I think the Braves were expecting to do a bullpen game for Game 4 anyway before the Morton injury. But now, using all those arms in Game 1, it really kind of puts them behind the 8 ball in that, particular part of the game of the pitching. So that has huge ramifications. They're going to have to rely heavily on the bullpen.
I got to say, though,
workhorse.
Yeah, Morton, right. You expect Morton to give you innings, but I got to say, transitioning into Game 2, and I want you to give your thoughts on Game 1 if you're not finished, but Max Fried didn't look great, but Brian's like, listen, we're going to lose this game, frankly, but we just need you to throw innings, because if you don't throw innings now, we will not be able to win any other game. And that is, as a manager, I need to see that more. I know you're in a playoff series. Every game's important.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. You can always come back. Sure. But let's play the odds a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't think you're going to come back in this game, we're already up 1-0 in the series. And I know the Astros will win the next 3. But if you don't think you're going to win this game, and if we go to the bullpen now, if we don't win this game and come back, and we go to the bullpen now, we're screwed. We're screwed. Let the guy go. Let Max Fried give you 5. He was only at 86 pitches. I know he had some long innings. I'm letting him go 6. I don't care if he gives up 8. I really don't. I'm not expecting to win that game, and all I really need is innings. I mean, fucking throw Darno out there for shits and gigs.
Yeah.
I think within 3 years, another King Kirsch hot take, you're going to see just managers in blowouts or games where, they feel like we cannot afford to waste our good arms.
Yeah.
Whatever. Throw Freddie Freeman out there. It doesn't matter. I'm going to have my guys be in high leverage situations when I'm going to win games and let them be gassed trying to pitch 7 innings for 7 games, because now bullpens have taken 6 innings almost every game. Mm-hmm. It's not working. Let them pitch the 4 games we're going to win, or 5 games, but not 7.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, watching the game yesterday, I like that move by Brian Snitker. I think that, as you said, you got to save the bullpen, especially down 1 starter already. And it gets to a point where, you're most likely not going to come back. You just kind of have to take the L and go with it. Because as a manager, you got to put your team in the best position to win. And, this game's already gone. Well,
not just today, but tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that was a really smart move. I think he ended up going, 5 1/3, 5 2/3?
He went just 5.
5? Okay.
Yeah.
But either way, that's
huge.
That is huge, because that's
what starting pitchers has even gone 5. You know what I mean? That's
relievers have thrown more innings in the postseason so far than the starters, which makes me sick to my stomach. Yeah. But you got to save your arms. You really have to. And the Astros took a lead. I can't remember what inning they took their commanding lead in. But either way, the game was pretty much on early. Yeah. Early in the game, you kind of found out. And honestly, maybe that was a blessing in disguise for the Braves. If they were neck and neck and Fried didn't have it, and you take him out, you know how many pitchers you could have used and blown through in your bullpen? I know you have a day off today before Game 3, but honestly, that could have been a blessing in disguise for the Braves. To save
they lose that game and then blow through the arms.
Yeah.
What are you looking at Game 3?
Yeah.
Especially if Ian Anderson, who has struggled a little bit, struggles in Game 3, and you got to pull him in 2 2/3 because now he doesn't look good. But now, now we're down 1-1, so now we really need to win this game, so we blow through it. Now we're down 2-1, so we really – that's what I'm saying. It can build upon.
You're already about to lose one game. Don't let that bleed into losing another game,
exactly.
Yeah. It's something that I agree. I think we'll see more of, and I hope we'll see more of. But it made total sense, and plus of the day off, the series switching to Atlanta, that kind of gives them another day to rest the arms a bit. But yeah, no, I was fully expecting the Astros to win game 2. They didn't look very good in game 1. They made some errors mentally and physically, and they just they played a very typical Astros game in game 2. Also, Braves made some errors. I think Dansby Swanson made an error that led to a run.
You get charged with it, right?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. So it was just a game you expected the Astros to come back with. At least I did. So series is even. Now who's going for game 3? The probables here.
We got Garcia versus Anderson.
Yeah. Honestly, Anderson's been up and down, but the whole Brave starting rotation has been up and down the entire postseason. So you're not sure what you're gonna get. You're really not.
I don't know how long Snicker's gonna let Ian go. I think they're probably gonna let Luis Garcia go pretty long. He's looked pretty decent. So it'll be interesting to see how the start. I don't think Ian gets out of the 4th, and I'm not saying that as a negative for Ian. I'm saying I thought Buehler had a great start in game 6 and went 4 1/3. You know what I'm saying? I was happy with it. That's just where we are in the world. So
yeah, that's where the sport of baseball is at right now. Unfortunately,
if Ian gets through 4, they should probably be happy with it.
Well, game 3 is going to be interesting. It's back to Atlanta for 3. What are you actually? I want to say is, what are your thoughts on the whole 2-3-2 format that baseball has? I know the NBA used to have that in the finals, but I think they ditched that. But baseball still held on to that. I don't know what you think.
Sean, I'm okay with it. I don't know about. I mean, I like that the home team gets the first 2 games.
Yeah.
But I don't like how the first 2 deciding games could be on the road. Obviously that's just even from a team finance perspective, I rather have, the deciding games at home. But then again, you have 6 and 7. So if the series goes to 6 or 7, and a lot of times they do, you'll have that. But let's say, you're the Braves. I mean the Astros, I'm sorry. And you win the series in 5. First off, you don't win at home, and you don't get any money for 2 World Series games. You make less money all off ticket revenue and stuff than the Braves. Yeah. That's a little aggravating for me. Just speaking of the business aspect side. But that's the input I'll give.
I think that it probably was implemented this way as part of saving travel costs. To keep, you only travel, what would it be? If the series goes 7, you would travel 2 times. You travel from if the first 2 games are in Houston, then you travel to Atlanta, then back to Houston, instead of being 2-2, 1-1. If the series would go 7 games, you're traveling more often. So maybe that was the main ideas behind it. But I know at the NBA, like I said, the finals used to do that, but they kind of ditched that. And I'm wondering what their reasoning was for that. But baseball's been doing that for a while. I really don't. I can see the pros and cons of it. I'm not really too, I don't know, one side or the other, too far on the one side. But it is unique. I will say that it's unique to baseball. Also, another thing is I'd love to see those 5-game series, the best of 5, get bumped up to best of 7 in the DS rounds. Yeah, I really would. I think we talked about it during the Giants and Dodgers. But that series, come on, 5 games. We need a 7-game series for that, and I think it's going to make more money for the teams in the league, the players. So I don't see the downside for it, aside maybe than the season running longer into, November or whatever, if it's a cold weather city. But I think that 7 games should be across the board in the DS, the CS,
Okay.
and the World Series. And hell,
I
I'd love to see a 3-game wild card round.
yeah. I haven't thought too much into a 7-game DS. I mean, I know that it's definitely not anywhere near off the table because they are, you know, MLB just wants to add games. They want to add new
Yeah.
teams. But I think instead of adding new teams, I much rather add length to series.
Yeah.
I don't like how basketball's run. If you're under 500, you should have no shot at making the playoffs. That angers me. I like, like last year with just everybody and their mothers getting in the playoffs. Ridiculous.
I don't like that at all. I do not want
no.
to see expanded playoffs whatsoever.
No, not at all.
And
But
it's going to
expanding the
happen
series,
eventually, I think.
yeah.
I don't want teams that shouldn't be in getting into the playoffs. I really don't.
Expanding the series could be a good way to offset that, still make more revenue. The 3-game wild card has to happen. That's got to happen. I mean, there's nothing crazier than the 1-game wild card.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you make the 3-game wild card, then you even get me in like a somewhat situation where you're like, okay, I could see a 1-game wild card. How about a 1-game wild card as a play-in to get into the 3-game wild card?
Yeah.
So you're adding one more team for one more game. You know what I'm saying? So there's a 1 seed wild card team that gets home field, and they're just in the 3-game series. Yeah. And then there's the 2 and 3 seed. The 2 seed, you play the 2 seed at their home, and the 3 seed plays them, and they have to beat them. Whoever wins that game then goes to play the 1 seed wild card.
It'd be interesting to see if they had a 3-game wild card round. It would be interesting the logistics of it, because would you do game 1 at the higher seed, game 2 at the lower seed, and then potential game 3 at the higher seed, or would you do 2 higher seeds at home and then I don't know how that would work, because that's a lot of traveling, and also that's more pitchers you'd have to use and more games played. That would then make it that much more difficult for the wild card team to go deeper. In a sense, you could say that. And also, how long would the teams that aren't playing in that wild card game, would they have to wait in order to play that opponent? Right. You might have if it goes all 3 games, you might have a team that's waiting almost a week to play. But I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think it's a no-brainer. I think they should do that. But I'm just trying to think of some things that could be arguments against it.
Sure.
But as we say, baseball is a business. Sports are a business. They want to make money. 3-game wild card series gonna bring in money. 7-game DS gonna bring in money. I mean, more games, more money. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Players make more money. Owners make more money. MLB makes more money. Unfortunately, Rob Manfred probably makes more money. Not a fan of him. But I think it's a no-brainer to me. And, there's a lot of change coming, potential universal DH. Hopefully the second base runner thing on the extra innings is going away like it's rumored to be. But I think that it's a no-brainer to expand the series and add maybe a 3-game wild card round.
Yeah, and this is all stuff we will get into even more heavily, like a lot of stuff he just glossed over. In the off season, we'll have plenty of time to go over all this stuff, and we will in detail and give our express opinions on them.
Yeah, we're opinionated people.
Oh yeah, for sure. I want to shout out some non-game news going on in the world. Should I go with LA or LA first?
You know what? Let's go with LA first.
Okay. Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Angels. Congratulations to him, one of my favorite players. Got the Commissioner's Historic Achievement Award. Last winner was 2014 with Derek Jeter. Obviously, I think that was his. Was not his retirement year, was it? What did he win?
I think it was.
Was it? Wow.
Yeah, DJ 3K.
Needs a walker. I used to my fantasy baseball name. I'm
way back when.
But yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, so that he was the last person that got it. So it's not given out every year. You have to do something historic, and Shohei certainly did that this year. His season certainly fits the bill. I mean, he is Babe Ruthian, and no offense to Mr. Ruth, but he did it better. a combination, as far as
Yeah,
pitching and hitting in a
probably a
season.
better human being too than Babe Ruth. Just saying.
Sure. Don't hate on George. Man, what do you got against George Hearn?
A heck of a player, but
You're
there's
right.
been things written about him, said about him.
Hey, listen, the story ain't out on Shohei Ohtani. And I'm just saying that in defense of George. I
Oh,
think Shohei, by the way, one of the greatest human beings in the sport. I mean, if you saw him at the All-Star game and all the festivities, just always has a smile on his face.
yeah,
He's just like so nice and approachable, it seemed like
yeah.
to everyone.
I actually, I don't know if I told you this, but I got to see his cleats that he wore in the home run derby this year. Yeah, a little perk working at the Hall of Fame. I got to see him before they went on the display.
I'll come up and see him.
That was pretty cool, actually.
What is he working with down there in the foot section?
He had I didn't get the exact size of the shoe, but they were rather, I think it's probably 11 or 12 if I had to take a guess. So not massive, but not small.
Right. Yeah,
I could be way off. It could be a size 21, like Shaquille O'Neal or something.
Right.
But I don't remember exactly.
I mean, if you were mistaken 11 or 12 for Shaquille O'Neal, Sean, go into your news. I'm going to research Shohei Ohtani's shoe size.
Okay. Well, another award was handed out. Was the Roberto Clemente Award for, I guess I don't know the exact title of it, but it's handed out to a player who's involved in his community, basically a good guy award. And this one was handed out to none other but Nelly Cruz, who is just an all-time legend in my mind for us personally growing up. He's been kicking forever. Thank God for the DH. He's still playing. Great player, but he won the award for his. Let me re-get this from the source here. He provided financial support to 1,200 families in his hometown of Las Matas de Santa Cruz in the Dominican Republic. I'm getting this from an article from ESPN, from the Associated Press. Basically, we all knew it. Fantastic guy. He also helped arrange for Major League Baseball and the Players Association to donate $400,000 to the Dominican Republic for medical equipment and food aid during the pandemic. He also has a foundation called Boomstick 23 Foundation, which is a fantastic name.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. He's number 23. That's a fantastic name. A construction of an education and technical center last year in the Dominican Republic. What a guy. Very, very deserving honor. This is the 50th recipient of the award, I believe. Just an all-around good guy. Yeah. So that's the latest on the other award handed out. Now, did you find out Mr. Ohtani's shoe size?
I did. I hate to say, guys, he's size 11. Shawnee hit it on the nose. I got bigger feet than Shohei. Reason I asked, okay, we're not here to stereotype here. He's a big guy, but sometimes Asians have smaller feet. That's a well-known fact. And he does have a little bit smaller feet for his size, very interestingly enough. Another fun fact about Asian feet that we'll get into here is that back in the day, they used to tie up, girls' feet because they thought for some reason, societally, women's feet should be smaller, and they used to tie them up. Thank God we don't do that now, Yeah.
We learned that. We learned that in, was it Miss Chiavo's? Like, for some reason, I feel like English class, we read about it. Like 7th grade at Our Lady of Wisdom, grade school, Port Jefferson, New York, no longer there. By the way, if anyone wants to know, I kicked the ball over the fence. Little, and so did Dan.
I was going to say, what are we doing here? Jesus Christ.
Little inside joke that probably about 3 people in the entire world would get. But yeah, that's where me and Dan met, by the way, at Our Lady of Wisdom Regional Catholic School, Port Jefferson, New York, Long Island, New York. Anyway, we were really just getting off the rails here. But yeah, I do remember that fact.
No longer in existence.
No, for sale. Anybody who wants to buy it. But anyway,
thank God we've progressed past that.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go to LA. Oh, do you have something?
I was just going to say, we're not just a baseball podcast. We like to have well-informed listeners about the feet, I guess. All right, back to LA here.
Thank you. So let me think. You want me to go LA or LA?
Let's go LA. Let's change it up.
So this is just a question. I don't know how the awards are done. This is my hot take. This is just me getting angry at
for it.
Dave for no reason. I think the managers have to submit what players play what positions. You know, although like anyone who's voters, the writers know where they play. But almost every player on the Dodgers played second base for the Dodgers this year.
Yes.
You know, as I've mentioned before, Mookie logged about 75 innings there. Chrissy T, Max Muncy, Gavin Lux, Trey Turner. Think of other outfielders. I guess Keek's gone, unfortunately. But everybody plays second base for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Austin Barnes also second base. Not even going to get it.
Did they put Pujols at second at all?
Not Sean. I'm shocked. Honestly, I would actually have to look it up. I don't even want to try and spew misinformation. Dave Roberts will play anybody, anywhere, especially out of position. And we saw that a lot in the playoffs. Silver Slugger nominee Justin Turner, the only infielder on the Dodgers that did not play second base, and he's the nominee for the Silver Slugger. Should be a Silver Slugger. Justin Turner, an amazing.
Absolutely.
Second base, though, we had like 7 other guys log more innings. And I'm going to fact check all this when I swing it back to Sean for a sec. Let me get through my other LA thing, and I'm going to swing it back to Sean with some Mets information. And I'm going to come back to you with 2 different facts about 2 different things.
Absolutely.
Corey Seager, been a report that he's going to want probably somewhere in the range of $300 million. I don't mind it. I feel like just 6 months ago, people were like, Corey Seager front runner for MVP 2021 on the Vegas books. And now they're like, oh, he's like the 3rd best shortstop in the class. Correa is so much better. I don't like Correa. There's some bias there.
Yeah.
And Seager has had some injury history. I feel like Correa also has, though. Correa's also had slump history, and Seager's never had any slump history. Seager, if he's playing well. I personally think Seager's the best player in the class. There is some bias there. I don't mind $300 million for him. I don't think he should go to the Yankees. I like lefty, with the short right porch. I don't think the Yankees should take on another big contract, especially not a long-term contract for 10 years, regardless who it is. 10-year contracts don't work out. But interesting to see where he wants to play with LA again. I don't know where he thinks he's going to play.
Well, maybe he goes to the Angels. You never know. Maybe he likes LA so much he goes over.
That's exactly what the Angels need to do.
The Angels love long-term
bat for 10 years.
They
get
love
some pitching. Please get some pitching.
Rendon.
Other than your best hitter.
Yeah.
Okay. So you give me some more news while I look up some information.
So we were talking about Silver Sluggers. I actually forgot about it, but Jacob deGrom was nominated for the Silver Slugger for the National League pitching.
Julio Urias wasn't, and I was pissed, by the way.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. deGrom got nominated but didn't pitch after, I want to say, early July. And he still might win the award because he's that good of a hitter. But Urias played the entire year. Am I correct? He didn't get injured? Or if he did, it was not very long?
Yeah, Urias had like top 5 hits in the league.
Yeah.
For pitchers.
So that's just something that came up with the Silver Slugger. He was the only Met nominated. Not a shock. But some other Mets news. Well, it's been well documented. The Mets have, Mets things up, to put it bluntly. Last year they hired Jared Porter as their GM, only to have him be part of a scandal, sexual assault scandal with a reporter. Obviously just disgusting. Cannot happen. That goes without saying. Anyway, they let him go. Then they brought in the number 2, Zach Scott, who was this runner-up to Jared Porter in the hiring. So he was, I think, assistant GM. And then he got, promoted to acting GM, which apparently is different than interim GM. Don't know the difference. Either way, got arrested for DWI in September. Got put on administrative leave or whatever the official term is. So needless to say, the Mets have been looking for president of baseball operations and a general manager, or just one or the other. They can't seem to find either. They're trying to get permission from, seems like every team in the league to interview one of their executives. They can't get it. The most recent candidate they were looking to interview was the GM of the Milwaukee Brewers, Matt Arnold, who was denied permission by the Brewers to interview with the Mets and then signed a contract extension yesterday. This comes after the Mets were trying to interview the Brewers' president of baseball operations, David Stearns, I believe is his name. I apologize if I'm getting it wrong. His last name is Stearns. I think it's David Stearns. Could be Nelson Stearns. Blanking out at the moment. It hasn't gone well. The Mets are I'm going off a little bit of a rant here. I apologize. But Mets are a New York team. Huge market. Got an owner that as deep as pockets as you can have. They actually, contrary to popular belief in how they play, they actually have a decent roster. But they just can't get permission to get anybody to even interview. Not the job, just to interview. And poor Sandy Alderson, who's got to be 80 years old at this point, just beat cancer a couple of years ago, dealt with the Wilpon regime of the Mets, is now stuck being the GM of a team he doesn't want to be the GM of. He wants to retire and live a good life like he's earned. But yeah, that's just the Mets struggles, and I'm sure I'll get into that more in this offseason. That was a very long-winded rant. But yeah, they can't seem to hire anybody. So Steve Cohen, if you're listening to this, I know you're a listener. I am available. I will gladly be the GM of the New York Mets. Just saying. So that's your little Mets update of the week here.
I mean, I like it. So going back to me, I'll bring you couple facts. The average shoe size in Japan seems to be 5.5, where the average shoe size in the United States, and this accounts for male and female, seems to be about an 8. So there is that. I mean, that's a hefty. You're thinking about such small, metrics. That's a hefty difference there.
Yes, that is
Almost. I can't do the percentage. That's a big difference. Moving on, more relevant. People who played second base for the Dodgers this year. I'll quickly run through their names. Justin Turner did not play any second base for the Dodgers this year, shockingly. Trey Turner played second base for the Dodgers. Chris Taylor. Trey Turner, by the way, 49 games at second. Chris Taylor played 39 games at second base. Going up the list here, who else played second base? Sheldon Noose, or Noisy, I know really it's pronounced, played 13 games at second base this year. Max Muncy played 26 games at second base. We had Gavin Lux playing 26 games at second base. That seems light. That seems a little ridiculous. We have who else? Who else we got? Andy Burns. Oh, the legend Andy Burns played 1 game at second base.
Legend.
Mookie Betts played 6 games at second base, started 6 games at second base, I should say. That's a problem. And Austin Barnes, our backup catcher, had 6 different games in which he appeared at second base. So the fact, my shtick is the fact that Justin Turner got on the second base of the slugger, the only one who has a singular position, the only player that has a single position on our team. Wrong position.
The old saying, "Jack of all trades, master of none," has some truth to it. There's 9 positions on a baseball field. I think that your team is much better off when you have a guy who's meant to be in that position. Call me old school, but I think, you have 9 guys who play the position, and then you have a couple of utility guys on the bench who can play, 3 or 4 infield positions or, any of the outfield positions. I think that your team is better served when you have a guy who plays the same position every single day. Look at Trey Turner. He's a shortstop. Hated second. I believe he publicly said he didn't want to play second base. Yep. He didn't do well defensively at second base, and he didn't hit that well offensively, which you think, bled over one into the other because it, it's a very mental part of the game. But I don't really understand that. It's great to have guys like TK Hernandez who can play everywhere. You need those guys, but you need guys with primary positions. I mean, you have your backup catcher playing, was it 6 innings or 6 games at second base?
6 games, yeah.
You can't have that. You just cannot have that.
Yeah.
That's just not smart. First of all, being a catcher is the most difficult position in sports. It's got to be up there. Yeah. And he has to worry about handling the pitching staff and also playing second base. I mean, not only if he was left field or right field, yeah, that's one thing. But second base and shortstop, those are 2 very important positions. You got to turn double plays. You got to have communication. Who's got the bag on steal? I don't know. I just think that's stupid. I think that, to put it bluntly, I think it's just stupid.
That's Dave Roberts is what it is. But Yep,
Ugh.
that's my baseball non game related news.
Yeah.
Big difference in Japanese and American shoe size. Well, you should take away from that.
Oh boy. See, you never know what you're gonna get with the 10th inning podcast here. Just two guys shooting the breeze, and foot size comes into play. All
I'm
right,
an 11 and a half. I just want the
uh,
fans out there to know 11 and a half.
I'm a 9.5. So if I was in Japan or wherever, I would be above average.
Yeah, you would, baby.
Anyway, so do we want to give our prediction for Game 3?
I got the Astros winning. I'm sticking to my schedule as it sits, although I still have Atlanta winning in 7. I don't know which game I'm going to flip yet, but not 3. I think Houston wins the first game. I like Luis Garcia. Something about Ian Anderson in Game 3 is getting me a little funky.
Yeah.
I think the Astros take Game 3.
All right. I think the Astros take both Game 3 and 4 to go 3-1. I don't know. I just I don't think the whole scenery change of going to Atlanta is going to phase them. We've talked ad nauseum at their experience and all that jazz. But yeah, I think the Astros take the next 2. I mean, I picked the Astros to win this series, but God, I hope the Braves win. And that takes a lot for me to say that because you see the hat I'm wearing right now. I mean, I can't see the Astros. Oh God.
I know it's not easy. No one's asking for it to be easy for you.
No.
But I have the Astros winning Game 3. I do have the Braves winning Game 4. Pitching matchup is not out yet, but again, I'm sticking with my.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a bullpen game for the Braves, I believe.
Yeah.
At least initial reports are that.
And then we'll see. I think we are scheduled to hop on the pod on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, either Sunday or Monday. So it will be Game 5 will be the game we'll be through. I don't think we'll have a winner by Game 5.
I don't think so. I hope not.
Hope not. But
another thing I want to say about Ian Anderson is you may have said this earlier, and I apologize if I'm repeating it. They need length out of him tonight. They need length. If they don't get length, I think they're done.
Just that's it, Ski.
Yeah, call me Stephen A. Smith making hot takes here. They need length out of the bullpen. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
And they're done at a 1-1 series. They're done, Ski.
I think so.
Okay. I think you're thinking with your head.
Here's the caveat. Caveat is if the Astros also don't get length tonight, the series isn't over. Let's say both pitchers go an inning and a third or 2 innings, and it's like 5-5 or 5-4.
Yeah.
That's where I say it isn't over. But if the Astros get to Ian Anderson early tonight and their start, I always forget who's pitching for the Astros tonight. I apologize.
Luis Garcia,
yeah. If Garcia goes, 5-6 innings and gives up 1 or 2 runs, like 1 or 2 run ball, I think the Astros are done. Just what I'm feeling. Sometimes you got to go off gut, and sometimes you're just so wrong. You just got to own up to it.
I got 7-2 for Luis Garcia tonight. I got a guy going 7 innings, giving up 2 earned runs, and I got Ian Anderson going between 3 2/3 and 4 1/3 on 4-run ball. That's what I got.
Could be worse.
Those are my pitching line predictions there.
Okay. I respect that. I think that's good. And you seem to be spot on with everything else you say. So
Michael Brantley gets his first game-winning hit tonight. It's not going to be a walk-off.
All right.
Not tonight.
That one down.
Was it tonight?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow. I'm losing my mind.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow.
First
game-winning hit. Michael Brantley. Woo! Well, I got through it.
You did. His Jordan game, his flu game, and he didn't even need Scottie Pippen or Dennis Rodman out there with him. He did it all on his own.
Not all on my own. Okay. Listen. We got a facilitator right here.
Yeah, I'll be the.
You be Steve Kerr.
Yeah, I'll be out here popping threes.
Yeah, you'd be Steve Kerr. We're good. You close it out whenever you
All
want.
right, so
All I gotta do is this.
once
That's all I
again,
got.
thank you for watching and listening. We really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at _10th inning. Dan will throw all these links in the bottom here, so he's not just pointing for no reason. Yeah, so thank you again for watching, and we will see you Sunday or Monday with a special guest.
Don't forget, Astros fan, Zeke Wigatow. We'll see you then. Whoa.
Yeah.